Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. Today I'm going to show you how to make a delicious chocolate drink. It's basically a superfood smoothie. We call them milkshakes for my daughter because it sounds great, but there's no milk. You can use milk if you want, preferably raw, organic, grass-fed, yada yada, but this is going to be raw, vegan, superfood rich, very healthy and nutrient dense, and tastes so good. In fact, it can end up tasting like a Wendy's Frosty. You know, you can make it different, and I've got a bunch of ingredients here, but if you don't have all these ingredients, which you probably won't, that's okay. You don't need them all. You can make it however you want. I'm going to show you some keys to make it with whatever you have in your fridge, or if you want to just order a few items, you can just start off with a basic one. I'm just putting a lot of stuff in here because I have a lot of stuff in the cabinet. So you don't need all this, but one of the cool things about smoothies or milkshakes, whatever you want to call them, is that I see it as a great opportunity to stuff superfoods in there. You know, some of the stuff doesn't taste very good, a lot of it's powders and stuff like that. How do you eat it? Well, you just dump it into a blender, blend it all up, make it taste good, and then boom. It's like having a multivitamin. Instead of a little tiny pill, you're gonna have a big old blender full of it. So let's go ahead and get started. First off, you wanna start with the base, which is usually gonna be some type of nut milk. But you don't wanna buy the nut milk that they sell in the stores because it's often loaded with carrageenan, which I noticed inflamed my stomach, and it's pasteurized, expensive, sweetened with probably terrible sweetener. So we're gonna fix all those problems and make it all fresh. So I'm just gonna start off with a little bit of water, and I'm not a fan of measuring things too much, as you're gonna see, but it doesn't really matter. That's why it comes out different every time. So I don't really get tired of it because it's not the same drink every time. And you know, it just makes it more fun, it makes it quicker, and the quicker it is, the more likely you are to make it. So I just added a little bit of water, and then I've got a few Brazil nuts. The reason why I like to throw Brazil nuts in there, just a handful of them, because they're loaded in selenium. Selenium is a very anti-cancer mineral, and Brazil nuts have far more selenium in them than any other food. So just 3 Brazil nuts a day gives you your selenium. It's really good for you. They don't taste that great on their own, but if you can squeeze them in, you know, chop them up, put them in a salad, make them into your nut milk, it's a great way to get selenium. So that's what I think of when I think of Brazil nuts. So I try to sneak them in whenever possible. And again, this is just an opportunity to sneak in all these superfoods. So there's one part of your nut milk, and you could do just water and 1 nut, but since I have this pine nut flakes, I'm going to use it. You know, again, use what you have. You need to use it. It's in your cupboard. It's made to be used. And the thing is neither one of these tastes really good. I don't really like them as much as I wish I did. And if you use too much, it tastes too strong. So by using a little bit of this, a little bit of that, neither one of the flavors are overbearing, and you're still getting the nutrition. I'll just put a little bit more, just for fun. All right, so we're just gonna blend it. Now, normally with nut milk, you would strain it. That way it would have a nice consistency. It would be more liquid, not be chunky and stuff. But why waste that, you know, nutritious food, that healthy food, the expensive food that you paid for? A lot of times, like with almonds, there's minerals that are either in the skin or close to the skin. And if you strain it and remove the skin, you're missing out on some really important phytonutrients that you may not even be able to get anywhere else. So this is a good way of actually making nut milk without taking away any of the goodies. So we're just going to mix this. have to go too long or be perfect because you're going to blend this again once you mix everything in there. So just go ahead and get a preliminary blend going on, and then basically you just start dumping powders into it. That's what I do. So a lot of these are from David Wolf's brand, sold on longevitywarehouse.com, but you don't have to get his particular brand. We just like it, so we order. David Wolf is who really got me into the raw food and blending and stuff like that, so we support him and we buy his stuff. We know it's quality, we trust his word for it, his judgment, but you know, they're expensive. So you know, I'm gonna have a blog post where you can actually buy these ingredients. I'll show you where you can find them online, so don't worry about writing this stuff down, and it won't be to the exact same brands necessarily, but yeah. So let's start off with just a little bit of mesquite. Now mesquite has a unique flavor. You don't want to put too much in there because it can throw off the flavor, but it does add a nice little touch, and it's got some nutrition in there as well. This is ashwagandha. This is a really powerful herb, and we just need a little bit, even less of this than that, because this is really strong. So, you know, I don't put a lot of everything, but you know, if you use a little bit here, a little bit there, eventually you use it all up. Baobab is a tree, and it's just got a nice array of different nutrients in there. Doesn't really taste bad, so it's kind of just another source of nutrition. Oh. I'm going to put some kelp granules in there just because I don't like kelp. I never like seafood. It's really healthy. Kelp is probably the healthiest of the sea vegetables, even though they're all healthy with unique polysaccharides in there, and they're also really high in minerals. But kelp is particularly high in iodine. So I just, like I said, I'm sneaking stuff in here, you know. I want to make it taste delicious. So, you know, it's kind of like rewarding yourself for eating healthy stuff. You know, you got to put the healthy stuff in there, but then we're going to sweeten it and make it taste delicious. So next we're going to have camu powder. This is one of the highest vitamin C food sources on the planet, far higher than oranges. It doesn't taste very good, so you just want to put a little tiny bit. Or it'll make your face go, and you don't want that, especially when you have guests over and you're trying to impress them and everyone's sitting at the party like, yeah. Here's one of the best ones, lucuma. Lucuma is a delicious fruit, and it's a high calorie source of fruit. I mean, I'm gonna put a little bit more of lucuma than other stuff. Because it just really goes well with ice cream type of desserts. So it's a good source of calories. You know, this is going to be a meal. If we had more of this, I would put more, but we're getting low. So I'm just putting some just for demonstration purposes, but it's delicious and it's good to have around. If you're eating this kind of stuff and you want to live off of it, you're going to need your calories. And that's a delicious calorie source with some nutrition in it also. And just a little bit of collagen protein. This is from Bulletproof. Bulletproof is best known for their coffee, but they have a lot of other products, a lot of interesting products, and so you can't get anywhere else. So this is one of the other products that we get besides their coffee, and we put it in the coffee sometimes, we put it in the drink sometime, and I'll leave a link to where you can get stuff from Bulletproof too. Bee pollen, some of this stuff is for taste, some of it is just for the nutrition because we need to get it in there. This is basically just for the nutrition. Bee pollen is another superfood. It's one of the healthiest foods on the planet. We don't even know what some of the nutrition in it is. So it's really interesting. If you put too much, it makes it taste bad, but just put a little bit and you're fine. Seems counterintuitive to put salt, and it's because you only want to put a little tiny bit. And this is another secret. See, I'm giving you secrets as we go along to reward you for watching the video. So keep watching because we've got another big tip coming up here in just a minute. So you just want to put a little dash, just a little bit, you know. You don't want it to taste salty, but it just kind of helps bring out the sweetness flavor. Alright, now this is one of my favorite powders. This is Sunwarrior brand in particular. This is a really good protein source for vegans. This is the Warrior blend, which is a newer type of product. They had the same kind, chocolate and vanilla, before they had Warrior blend. It was like the original formula. I don't like the Warrior blend as much. I'm gonna put a link to where you can get this in our in the description on the blog post on theawarenessrevolution.com. But the reason why I'm using the Warrior blend right now is because all of the original formula is gone. We've already eaten it, so this is what we have left. So this is what we're using until we make another order. Typically, I like to have the vanilla original, but this is what we have left. So normally I just use that, and then I make the chocolate flavor come out just from cacao alone. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit in here. This is going to give us a little bit of a chocolate flavor, but because of the Warrior blend, if you put too much in here, it gets a funky flavor that we don't really like. So you don't want to only use that for your chocolate if you want it extra chocolatey. So what I'll do is put some of these cacao beans. I'll show you in my hand. This is the nut that all chocolate comes from. It's like a secret in the food industry because no one knew about it until David Wolf started traveling around the world telling everyone about it. But this is cacao grown typically in tropical climates, and they're really bitter. It's like dark chocolate is bitter, but everyone knows dark chocolate is better for you. It's because it's a higher cacao content. When you look on these chocolate bars, you see the percentage. Thanks to people like David Wolf, bring this to people's awareness. And the higher the cacao content, the healthier it is. This is one of the top superfoods in the world, also listed in David Wolf's Superfood book. And you have to listen to a lecture of David Wolf just on chocolate. Let him get deep into it. And it's amazing. His charisma, his enthusiasm, talking about chocolate. It's definitely something that you have to experience. And we're just going to put a little bit in here because we already have some chocolate in there. We don't want it too chocolatey today. And this is just coconut butter. This is going to make it also a good source of nutrition, make it smooth and creamy, and it's going to give a good source of fat. So I'm just going to put a decent sized scoop in there. And now that we've got all the powder scooped and everything, now we can put in the frozen bananas. And this is the other big tip right here, is freezing your bananas first. That's what makes it come out like a milkshake, because they're frozen, they're hard, and this is what makes it delicious. So we just put however much we think needs to go. I'll put one more. And sometimes you might need to add more nut milk, depending on how much you add in there. But just peeling them and then putting them in breaking them off in little pieces. Because if it's big, it's going to be hard for the blender to break down. But peel them, break them into little pieces, put them in the freezer, let them freeze, and that will make this come out. The banana adds fullness, it adds a good texture, it makes it more filling, it just makes it delicious, especially when they're frozen. I'm going to go ahead and add some dulse in here because this is another sea vegetable high in minerals. I don't really like it, doesn't taste very good, but you can easily add it a little bit to add a little bit of nutrition into your superfood, chocolate drink, smoothie, milkshake, whatever you want to call it. And a little bit of honey to make it taste delicious. This is your best sugar source. If you're trying to keep your sugar low, you can use xylitol, stevia, monk fruit, which is also known as lo hong guo, and those are non-glycemic sweeteners. So if you have diabetes or cancer or a lot of candida, then you can sweeten it with those. But honey is an excellent sweetener to use. It tastes good, so we like to use it whenever we can. So then we just blend it up. So this is pretty liquidy. If you want to make it thicker, you can add more bananas. And the great thing about the Vitamix is that you can use it. I'll just go ahead and show you. So the great thing about the Vitamix is it comes with this tool, and it can allow you to make really thick milkshakes. So you could drink it like this if you prefer, but if you want it thicker, I'll just go ahead and show you one of the reasons why we use a Vitamix. You can make it thicker by simply adding in more bananas. Also, it would have been thicker if we would have not been filming. Then usually I wait towards the end to bring out the bananas, and they'd be more frozen, and it'd be thicker. But here, I'll just go ahead and add one more. We're gonna make it big today. So then you just turn it on, but then you can scoop it like this, and you know, if you put too much bananas in there and turn it, it won't blend. But you can blend it like this. Let me show you. And like I said, it comes out different every time. It's still pretty liquidy, but it's more thick. Now, if I would have added less nut milk, which sometimes is nice, then it'd be a lot thicker. Sometimes you can make it so thick in this Vitamix that you've got to eat it with a spoon because it won't fit through the straw. Let's go ahead and try it. It's really delicious. And if you don't nail it the first time when you drink it, if you don't think it's absolutely delicious, add more stuff to it. Add more sweetener, add more chocolate, and you'll get the feel for what you need. You know, once you learn what each ingredient tastes like by using them over and over and over again, and by making this drink over and over and over again, you know, eventually you'll get the feel for what everything tastes like. So if it doesn't taste quite like you want it, then you'll know what to add more of. I hope you try this. If you have your own recipes that you make based off of this, leave a comment below. Make a video like I did, you know, maybe link back to my post and say that you adapted it. Let us know what other kind of creations that you make based off of this. I hope you try it, drink it for your health, share it with your family, your friends, so you can have a delicious dessert without having to eat something that's unhealthy. So you get to have your cake and eat it too with this delicious superfood milkshake chocolate drink. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy. Please like, share, and comment on the video. Subscribe to our newsletter, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and join the awareness revolution. Thanks again.